standing up. So just find a comfortable seat and drop in. So this practice, it can be a daily practice. I hope it is for many of you a daily practice, even if it's just the quiet time for contemplation. So close your eyes and drop in to the body. And feel into that state of being able to deeply ground. Where's your pelvis in space? Do you feel like you have a nice steady base, grounded, wide, steady base? And feel free to move a little bit. Maybe you need to rock a little bit back and forth on your pelvis to feel where that grounded place is for you. And then once you have a centering, feel the buoyancy of your spine, the sense of lift without it being a strain on the body, an opening across the collarbones. Allow your head to drop back just ever so slightly if you are a head forward kind of person. And feel that the crown is right over the tail. Once you have this internal sense of alignment, come into the breath. See what it feels like to open, breathing through your nose if you can. Experience the inhale, and that slight pause. Experiencing the exhale and the slight pause. And if there's going to be any manipulation of the breath at all here, just see if you can prepare the body to receive. So a sense of broadness and openness across your lungs, mobility within your diaphragm, and ease across the skull through the nasal passages. Sometimes in the beginning of our practice, the breath is a little choppy and not so comfortable just yet. And that's okay. So just notice your state of mind, your state of breath, your state of body as we begin. Let your breath become the metronome of your practice. It is the music of your practice, the beat of your practice. So see if you can harness a bit of that focus where you really stay aware of the rhythm of your breathing, the sound of your breathing, the feeling of the breath throughout our practice. And when you're ready, bring your hands together. And as you offer an intention, try to, just reach into what do you need right now? Do you need rest and rejuvenation? Do you need repair anywhere in the body? Do you need to stop splitting your focus and come into a deep state of concentration? What can your practice offer you to help you? All right, and then let's release the hands and come onto your back. Okay, so as you find your way into or onto your back, just sense into what your body feels like. We're, going to get a little bit into the low back today, so just notice what the shape of your spine is in. Okay, do you have any tenderness or pain anywhere? Are you feeling really good today? All right, let's stretch our body out. Reach the left side and reach the right side and come into that awakened state where the body gets to have that freedom of a stretch and maybe even squeeze or a little bit of holding the breath, whatever your nervous system needs right now. And then bring your knees into your chest and rock around a little bit. Just feel the slosh from left to right. Let that ease of rocking help your brain to just rest. If you have a lot on your mind, see if you can just rest the mind as much as you can. Rest the back of the skull right now into the ground. See if you can rest the brain against the back of the skull. Just find as much physical and mental ease as you can muster. All right, let's open the knees up away from each other and then swing them back in. So just warming up some movement of the hip joints. Maybe there are semicircles, maybe they're full circles, whatever feels good in your range of motion here. All right, keep your right knee into your chest, your left leg comes out on the floor and roll your feet around. Just wake up through the ankles, the calves, the shins, the toes, feeling the long, long spine as you do this. All right, and change sides, left knee in, right leg long. Enjoy the space here. Breathing well. Keep moving those feet around if it feels good to do so. All right, and then 2 knees back in. Okay, rock a little bit, just moving side to side. We're going to place our feet down, arms out to the sides. And feet can be a little wider than your hips if you want, and just begin to rock your knees left and right. So just windshield wipering. We're just gently warming up the spine a little bit here, feeling into the hips a bit. Now drop the knees over left and stretch the right arm far up over your head. Take a deep breath and then back up. Stretch your left arm far up over your head as you drop your knees right. And then relax. Let's grab our strap if you have one. Go ahead and grab onto it and wrap it around your right foot. We're going to stay on the ground for a little bit longer here. So find your way into Supta Padangusthasana. So as you grab your strap, put it around your right foot and lift that leg straight up in the air. Your left foot can be on the ground, or you can have your left leg on the ground. So whatever feels nice to your body. See if you can feel into the back side of your sacrum and let there be some balance and some softness here. And then we're going to move even here just a little bit. So we're going to pull the knee toward the chest and then press the foot up in the air. Just a little bit of half happy baby pose with that right foot and then reaching the foot up. So just kind of going back and forth. Stay inside the breath. And now reach the leg straight up in the air and decide how you want your left leg to be. Extend through the spine, find the breath. Move your right hip away from your shoulder. And now let's flex and point the toes while our foot is in the strap. Be mindful to have some ease across your shoulders. Try not to yank them up away from the ground. Let your head and shoulders rest on the floor. Okay, let's take the strap into the left hand. We're going to cross the right leg over to the left. You don't have to go very far in this posture, or you can go a lot further. So just kind of sense into what your body's needing right now as you twist. Feel the hip move away from the shoulder. And then see what you want to do with your right arm. Do you want to reach it overhead or out to the side? Or do you want to have your hand in the crease of your hip joint, pressing it away? So just find what's comfortable. All right, and then reach that leg straight back up. Let's open the right leg out to the right now. And you once again remember what your left leg is doing. So if your whole leg is on the ground, ground it. Feel the grounding of your whole left side of your body. Breathe well. Relax the base of the skull. And then lift that leg straight back up. One more stretch here before we change sides. Bend your left knee if it's not already bent, and place your right foot on top of your left knee. So you can be here. This might be a deep enough stretch for your hip. If you want a little bit deeper, you can put a block underneath your left foot. If you want a lot deeper, you can reach behind your left hamstring or the front of your left shin. So wherever you're comfortable, we're stretching open into a reverse pigeon pose. Feel free to move a little bit if you like rocking from side to side. Just waking up the awareness and openness of your right hip. Stay inside your breath. All right, and then release and lower the legs down. 2 legs straight on the floor. Feel that sense of ease. Starfish, open your body. And then knees, both of them into your chest. Pick up your head. Right foot comes down onto the ground, left knee into the chest. Grab your strap, left foot in the strap, right leg can either stay with your foot on the floor or your leg can go straight on the ground, whichever feels good. Now remember, your leg in the air, it can have a bend to it. It can be straight, so just find whatever's working for your body. And we're going to move here just a little bit. So bending the knee. You can let the knee either come to the chest or to the side of the chest and then back up. So just getting a little bit of range of motion in the hip joints, coming into some pretty deep flexion, and then some extension through the hamstrings. And then find your way into this posture and stay. So decide what you want to do with your right leg. Your left leg is up in the air. It can be straight or with a bend in it, whatever feels good. Relax your head on the ground. Soften your shoulders. Let's flex and point the toe here. Just opening up the calf muscle a little bit, getting the back of the leg to awaken. How's your breath? When we take it slower than usual before getting up, enjoy just the simplicity of feeling a stretch in the body, the ease of having a focused awareness on one part of the body. And when you're ready, we're going to cross the left leg over to the right. So hold the strap in the right hand, and you get to decide, do you want your leg just a little bit over to the side? Do you want to go a little deeper? So just find the pathway that feels really good for your body right now. Let your shoulders soften. Stretch through the big toe. See if you can move your hip away from your left hip away from your left shoulder. Notice if your leg wants to externally rotate. See if you can have a little internal rotation. All right, and then lift that leg straight back up. Okay, find your breath, and we're going to open the leg out to the left. So hold the strap in the left hand now. Right side body is grounding. And if your right leg is bent and your foot is on the floor, you can open up your right knee out to the side a little bit, whatever feels good. Stabilize yourself so you're not tipping to the left. Feel the long spine. All right, and then lift that leg straight up in the air. And just remember, you can always do this pose very restoratively in a door frame in your house. So if you have your leg up on a wall and your leg on the ground kind of moving through a door frame, that can be a nice way of doing this posture because you don't have to use your arms. You can just rest with your leg up against a wall. All right, let's go ahead and release and relax to, reverse pigeon pose on this side, sorry. Left foot on top of right knee. Decide whether you want to keep your right foot on the floor, whether you want to put your right foot up on a block, maybe your right foot up on a piece of furniture, or you can reach back and grab either the hamstring or the shin. Okay. So you decide where your stretch is going to be, and if you want to move a little bit. Notice the low back. So did you round your back a whole lot? Can you have a neutral spine here, regardless of how deep you're ending up in the posture? All right, and bring your knees into your chest, rock a little bit. Hopefully you're warmed up enough for a happy baby, so grab onto your feet and you can sway side to side. If you can't reach your feet, hold onto your hamstrings. Just let your back stretch a little bit here. Breathing well. All right, starfish out your body, limbs wide and long. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, and knees come into the chest. Head comes up. All right, let's find ourselves coming over onto our side and coming up onto your hands and your knees. All right, so as you find all fours, pay attention, ground yourself. So feel the yielding of your hands, feel the yielding of your knees, and start to move through some cat-cows, arching and rounding the spine. Noticing where your range of motion is, especially if you're having some back tenderness today. Where is an appropriate place for you to move your pelvis? If you have low back pain, obviously the movement of your pelvis significantly contributes to what's happening in your back. All right, so take the pose off the linear plane and start moving around. Maybe you want to sway through your hips. Maybe you want to do some pelvic circles. Maybe you want to move through your shoulders. Just find a little freedom. Whatever feels good, kind of loosening up. If you're doing circles, make sure you go both directions. Is your pace slow? Is your pace fast? See what feels good. All right, and then stretch back towards child's pose. Take your hips back toward the heels. Arms can go either in front or behind, whatever feels nice. Lengthen into the spine. All right, so feel into the ease in your lumbar spine. See if you can enjoy the gentle stretch here. All right, come on up onto all fours. Let's take our right foot straight back. Curl your toes under on the floor. Stretch your calf a moment, and then we're going to cross that foot over to the other side of the mat and turn and look out over your foot. Just stretching through the side of your body, breathing well, and then come back to center, 2 knees down, take your left foot back, stretch through your calf, toes are curled under. Then when you're ready, cross that foot over to the right, and then look out over your right side. See if you can see your left foot over there. Stretch through the side of your body. Notice if there's differences between one side and the other. And then come back to center, child's pose again. Drop your weight down into your pelvis. Breathe well. All right, come on up. Right arm lifting up to the sky. Exhale and slide that shoulder down. Don't go any deeper than your body is saying to go, but if you're wanting a little deeper, you can take your left hand and press it a little bit into the floor. Enjoy the spine. See if you can breathe into where the ribs connect to the vertebrae. Relax your neck. Let your head be neutral and soft. And then inhale, reach that arm up again. Place the hand down onto the ground and change sides. Arm to the sky. Exhale and slide that shoulder under. Gaze toward the floor. Breathing well. And then go ahead and find your way out. Lift that arm into a twist. Hand down onto the ground. One more time. Swivel your hips around. So either go side to side like a fish, or you can go in some circles. So just feel a sense of ease. All right, curl the toes under and lift up to dog pose. Lengthen through your spine here. Bend your knees a lot. Ground into your hands. Feel that sense of yielding so that you can yield and then push and reach through your spine. Keep the neck neutral. Let your knees bend as much as you want to have ease in your back. Feel free to pedal your feet if you want. You can drop a heel and drop the other heel. You can do this with your knees bent. You can also straighten a leg. All right, when you're ready, walk your feet forward, come into Uttanasana. Now, if your back is bothering you, You can have some height underneath you. You can always have your hands right at the roots of your thighs. You can bend your knees a whole lot. You can allow yourself to come as deep or as not into this pose as feels right for your body. Especially if you have some sciatic nerve pain going on. Forward bending can aggravate that. So just see what it feels like. Relax your neck. And a halfway lift. The spine is growing. Support yourself. Hands on blocks or on legs. Feel that sense of support so your legs can lengthen, your spine can lengthen. And then exhale and bend your knees. Drop your seat, lift your chest, rise up, reaching the arms to the sky. Lean back a little bit, open the sternum up, cactus, open your arms and feel the sense of squeeze in the back body a little bit. And then relax your arms down. Shake your hands. Okay, reach one side up. You can keep your hand on your hip, open up through your side, engage your core while you do this, and then change sides. All right, that's a little warm up for where we're going next. Feet are a little bit wider than your hips or hip width, your choice. Reach onto the left arm. You want to grab onto the left wrist with the right hand and stretch over to the side. Now stabilize through your legs and through your core. Find the right placement of your feet so that you have that extension. And then come back up and go to the other side. So stabilizing through your core. We're not just collapsing over to the side. All right, reach the arms back up. Big open chest if it feels good. And then bend your knees and come forward. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Step your left foot back, right foot forward. So we're moving through to our lunges now. Find the open heart. Feel the sense of extension. Reach into that back leg. See if you can feel the hip flexors open and broaden. We're going to find our way into a twist here. So very gentle. You can keep your hand on a block or on the floor. If your hand's on a block, try to go to low height instead of a wobbly height so that you're not at risk. Shoulders away from the ears. Keep extending through the back heel. Hug to the midline with your inner thighs. Try not to let your knees splay out. And then release your hand back down onto the ground. Extend through the spine. Let's straighten the front leg a moment. Tuck your chin. Come back into your lunge and rise up. Now, especially if you feel tenderness in your back, bend your back knee some so that you're really stable in your pelvis and not arching your back, okay? Put your arms anywhere that feels nice in your body. Extend upward and lengthen. Reach to the sky. Maybe look up if your balance allows you to. Finding the breath. Okay, exhale, back foot comes forward. Fold again. Bend your knees deeply. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Spine gets longer. Step your other foot back. Now our left foot is in front. Come into a lunge on this side. Enjoy the open heart. Ground into your legs. So reach into the earth with your feet, yield, and then push off a little bit to feel the extension. Find your breath. Let's come into a twist on this side. Hand on block or hand on floor. Shoulders away from the ears. So it's a pretty gentle open twist. And you can make it even more gentle by bringing your hand further out to the side. So you just find what feels good for your back. Shoulders away from the ears. Keep lifting your back thigh up. Hug to the midline with your inner thighs. Press your front foot into the earth. Use your back glutes. So find the length of that leg. All right, let's release the two hands down onto the ground and begin to bend and straighten the front leg some. Just opening up into the hamstrings. Breathing well. Only go as far as your body says is comfortable. So if you're really rounded in your back, this may be a little too deep for you. All right, and then find a lunge, ground yourself, and rise on up. So decide whether you want your arms up or out to the sides or down, whatever serves the body. Notice your lumbar spine. If you're compressed at all, perhaps lean just slightly forward, perhaps bend the back knee. Release the tailbone toward the floor. Lift your pubic bone toward the navel. Engage your core. So find any stabilizing forces through the center body so that when you rise up, you're really lifting out of your pelvis instead of falling down onto the pelvis. Breathing well. All right, release the hands down. Dog pose. Long spine here. Just notice we're moving very slowly through our practice. Enjoy. See if you can steady yourself in each posture. Come back home inside the breath. Wide sit bones. Lift the sit bones up. Feel the tailbone lift toward the sky. Relax the spine toward the floor. Ground into your hands. So hug the hands toward each other so you have the support of your torso. Come forward into a plank when you're ready. Hold yourself steady. You can always put your knees down if you need to. Stabilize through the center of your body. So the core is not just your navel to your spine, but it's your whole torso finding its strength. Your inner thighs finding their strength. See if you can zip up to the midline from sternum to heels. All right, and then bring your knees down to the ground. Find the floor. Roll the shoulders a few times so you get that feeling of freedom across your spine, across your shoulder blades. Inhale, rise up to cobra. Elbows stay bent. Don't go too high. Exhale and melt to come back down. One more time. Rising up. Enjoy the feeling of strengthening the back of your body. This time, no hands. So we're just hovering. You don't have to go very far. Keep the neck long. Notice where your strength is coming from. Can you use your core? Can you use your legs? So you're not just relying just on your back. And then exhale and melt. Pick up your feet, hands on under your forehead, and rock your feet left and right. Breathing deeply. Okay, come back up onto all fours. Move your spine around any way you want to move your spine around. All right. Grounding through your two hands, reach your left leg in the air. Use your glutes, feel your core. When you're ready, take your other arm, your right arm, left leg, all the way up in the air. See if you can feel that sense of cross-lateral work in the body. Engage your back, engage your core. Breathing well. And let's put that hand and knee down onto the ground and change sides. Lift your other leg up. So now our right leg is in the air. The toes are pointing to the floor instead of turned out. Bring your left arm, thumb up. Look at the ground. So your neck stays neutral. And just notice, how does this side feel different from the other side? Breathing deeply. All right, let's go ahead and relax that hand and knee. Other side, first side again. Left leg, right arm. And we're going to bring the straight leg and the straight arm out to the side. So the toes point toward the floor, thumb toward the sky. Engage your core. Stabilize yourself. Feel your outer hips work. And then come back to a long line. Exhale, elbow and knee come underneath you. Inhale, bring it on out. Place the hand and knee down onto the ground. Second side. Bring that right leg up in the air, the left arm up in the air, and then bring them out to the sides. Toes toward the floor, thumb up toward the sky. Feel your core, relax your neck, find your breath. Which side's easier? Do you have dominance? And then come back to the long center line. Exhale, elbow and knee come underneath you. Inhale and bring that out. Place the hand down onto the ground. Stretch back towards child's pose. Let your glutes open up a little bit, lengthen through your spine, soften your breath. Deep inhale and exhale. All right, lift up to dog pose when you're ready. Extending through the spine. Notice if things are starting to shift in your body, if you're freeing up a little bit. Yield and push and reach. Breathing well. That focus on the breath. Relax the brain inside the breath. See if you can just place it into the breath. Let's walk our feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Put your hands on blocks for this version, even if you usually put them on your legs. Take your feet hip width apart. And now isometrically drag your feet apart from each other on the mat. And see if you can feel the stabilizing force of your outer hip muscles, your gluteus medius and minimus. It's very good if your side joints are a little wonky to stabilize these muscles. All right, and then exhale and relax. Drop your sit bones, lift up, come up to stand. We're going to stand on our right foot and tip open to the side. So as you bring your leg in the air, the toes are pointing straight forward instead of up toward the sky. Reach the arms out, so kind of like a tipping star. Open the chest, engage your core. Find the breath. Wake up those outer glutes. They're really important for stabilizing you. Okay, and then release. Put that foot onto the ground. Second side, rise up. Feel your core. Use your transverse abdominis to help you. So can you feel the stabilization of your hips and your core helping you? Breathe deeply. Relax the shoulders. Which side is easier? Okay, and then release and let your feet back down. Tadasana. Stand for a moment, find your breath. Ground through your feet. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale and float forward. Relax. See how your back's feeling now. Are things improving? Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Take your feet wider, maybe to the edges of the mat, maybe even wider than the mat, and come to a squat. Okay, you can turn your toes out if that feels nice. Elbows can be on top of your knees or inside the knees, whichever feels great. Let the inner thighs open a bit, ground through your feet. Extend the spine, finding the breath. Let's go ahead and stand right back up. Arms coming to the sky, heel toe your feet back in, and go ahead and release to come down. Find the breath. Okay, one more time, standing on your right foot, lifting your left leg out, toes point right in front of you. So we're waking up the outer hip muscles here. You know, kind of coming in through the back door to help your back. There's so many ways that you can help support your spine. Exhale, chair pose. Sometimes working with your core, obviously, is a great way to support your spine, but these outer hip muscles, we sometimes forget that they're really helpful to keep our pelvis stable, which helps our back. Rise up, other side, find the breath. Standing on your left leg, open the chest. And then come back. One more chair pose. Lift your spine, use your arms wherever is most comfortable for your body. Breathing deeply. Okay, and then rise up, stand. Take your feet hip width apart. We're going to come down to a chair but lower, like a squat, but our feet are pointing straight in front of us now, hip width apart. Take your hands on the outer knees. Press your hands and knees into each other isometrically. Drop some weight into your heels, lengthen your spine, relax the shoulders, breathe well. Rise all the way up. We're going to come down to a squat, but very slowly. We're going to come through chair pose. So legs can be together or apart. You decide. So we're going to squat down pretty darn low. We're going to come all the way to the floor. So of course, if you need to use your arms, use your arms. We're going to come all the way down onto our back. All right, pause here for a moment on your back. Take stock. Breathe here. Okay, you need a strap and a block. Okay, so we're going to put a block. We're going to have a block for between our thighs and a strap for our outer legs. So grab your strap. If you don't have a strap, you can do this with pressing your hands against your thighs, but it's a little easier with a strap. This is a great reset for your sacrum. So if your back troubles are coming from SI joint issues, this is a great posture to do. If you're currently in a flare, you only want to do the one piece of this, which is feet hip width apart. If you're not in a current flare, we're going to do 3 different directions. You only need the strap right now, but have the block handy. Start with your legs wider apart than your hips, unless you're only doing hip width apart. Okay, so ground through your feet. Relax your upper body. Take a deep breath in and exhale. The next time we exhale, we're going to engage our core, ground your big toes and inner heels, and pull your thighs into the strap. And you can adjust, sometimes I like to have the strap a little higher at my knees than mid-thigh, so you decide what's comfortable for you. So we're going to just pulse through this with the breath. So inhale to relax. And then as you exhale, engage your core, ground your inner feet, and press your thighs outward into the strap. Inhale and relax. And let's do one more. Ground the inner feet, engage your core, thighs into the strap. And then relax that and bring your feet hip width apart. Tighten the strap up. Same thing. So ground the inner feet. Move your thighs into your strap all on the exhales. The inhales, you relax, so it's a little pulse. Remember to engage your core. As you ground your inner feet, engage your core, and then press your thighs into the strap. One more. And then relax. Now bring your feet together, tighten the strap again, touch your big toes or whatever touches in your heels perhaps too. Okay, ground inner feet, engage your core, press into the strap. So you can probably feel your transverse abdominis working for you, but also this is the whole point of this is to reset the sacrum and the sacroiliac joints, which are a huge contributor to the feeling of low back sacrum pain. So we want to set them. Exhale to engage into the strap. Stay engaged in the core and grounded through the inner feet as you exhale. When you inhale, just let everything relax. All right, now you're going to release the strap. You can take it off. And we're going to use a block. So we're going to start with our legs close together. So we're going to have the thin width of the block, and then the middle width of the block, and then the widest width of the block. So start with the skinny edge of the block, and you can put the block wherever feels comfortable, between your knees, somewhere along your thighs, anywhere that's comfortable for you. Now, because we're going to be hugging in instead of hugging out, we want to ground the outer feet. So ground the pinky toe edge of your foot, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, engage your core and hug the block. Inhale to release. Outer feet, ground core, engage on exhale. Outer feet, engage your core, hug on exhale. And let's change to the middle width of the blocks. You might want a different placement of where the block lands in your legs, in between your legs, and that's fine. Go where you go. So ground the the outer feet, sorry. Ground the pinky toe side of your foot. Engage your core. Exhale and hug. So obviously this is a dynamic core exercise, but see, your transverse abdominis wraps all the way to your back body. So notice if you're feeling engagement wrapping around that, the whole wraparound through your pelvis and core. Exhale is where you do the engaging. Do you have one side that is easier than the other? Do you feel a dominance in one side of your pelvis or the other? Okay, now let's take the block to the widest width. Okay, so the long side of the block is between your legs. You can have it anywhere you want. Just find a groove that feels comfortable. Now remember to engage your core when we're doing this. So, obviously your inner thighs are going to be doing some work. This will deeply affect the pelvic floor, but just see if you can sense into the engagement of the pelvic floor and the deep low transverse abdominis as you exhale and hug. Remember to relax on the inhale. So this isn't just a gripping that we're not letting go. This is a dynamic movement on the breath. All right, and relax. Bring your knees to your chest. Rock a little bit. Just let your back relax. Put your feet back down onto the ground, hip width apart, and just rest here for a moment. So notice where you might feel fatigued. Notice if there's a sense of balance in your weight on the floor between your left and right sides. Breathe into the pelvic floor. All right, we're going to lift up to a bridge pose. So feet are hip width apart. We're going to do this twice, once actively, once passively. So lift up, climb up onto the tops of the shoulders, open through your chest. You can press your outer arms into the floor. Feel the engagement, hugging your pelvis with all of your muscles. So the inner thighs hug. Feel your quadriceps engaged by pushing your feet away from your chest. Pull your feet a little toward your chest and feel your hamstrings and glutes kick in. Pull your feet toward each other to feel the pelvic floor and the inner thighs. Pull your feet away from each other to feel your outer hips. Now see if you can just access all of that as you ground your feet down into the earth. Breathe deeply. All right, and then relax and melt. Before we do the passive version, windshield wiper your knees left and right. Just kind of come into a little bit of ease. You can move your arms wherever feels comfortable. And now we're going to do this passively. So remember, whenever you do a supported bridge pose, you want to make sure that the block is all the way across your sacrum. So you want the block at this height or this height across your sacrum instead of like this with just a little precipice under your sacrum. If you want to go high, stack 2 blocks widthwise underneath you. So you want the block to not just be underneath your sacrum, but under your pelvis as well. So choose your height, low, middle, or high. And then rest here for a moment. You can even put your hands on your low belly so you can just really get to know your low belly. Breathe into your low belly. All right, now, if you feel like it, you can bring your knees toward your chest and lift your legs up. And if you don't feel like it, just stay in the reverse or the supported bridge. So just feel into the weight, like a weighted blanket on your low back. See if you can feel the weight of your legs. Your femur bones are heavy. Let them drop, some sinking into the pelvis. Ground yourself. You can bring your knees closer. Whatever kind of movement that feels really good for your back, your legs, your spine. How is your breath? All right. Go ahead and lower your feet down. Lift your hips up and come to rest on the floor. Breathe well. You have a choice here. I would suggest crossing your right thigh over your left thigh and bringing your knees to your chest. If you want something different, you can always do reverse pigeon pose. So whatever feels good to your body. Now, sometimes it's nice to have a strap to hold on to. Sometimes I put the strap behind my thighs and do a strap instead of my hands so my shoulders can relax and my spine can be a little more neutral. But you do you, whatever feels good. All right, let's starfish out the body. Stretch your limbs wide. And then exhale, knees into your chest. Relax. Change sides. Left thigh over right thigh or reverse pigeon on this side. Okay, if you want to use a strap goes behind the thighs. If you're holding on, you can hold on behind your legs. You can hold on to your shins. You can do this with not holding anything and have your foot, if you're close to a piece of furniture, you can do it that way. So whatever supports you, support your breath here. Relax your neck and shoulders. Relax your skull. Take away whatever tension is not necessary. All right, relax and starfish out one more time. Spread your limbs. Deep breaths. Exhale, curl in. Put your feet onto the ground. Lift your hips and scoot them over to the right. Knees come up and drop them to the left. Breathe your way here. Now, if you feel inclined, there's so many ways you can go about this. If you want to straighten your top leg, keep your knees together, straighten the top leg and grab onto your big toe or somewhere along your leg. That will give a different stretch to your IT band and outer hip than if you have your knees together. Pick up your knees. Find a neutral spine. And then scooch knees to the left or hips to the left and drop your knees to the right. Breathing well. Once again, if you want to have your top leg straight, you can do that. Everything just offers different choices for the way you want to manipulate sensation in your body. Whatever you're doing, your head is deeply relaxing. And your breath is full. All right, and then go ahead and come back up. Now, choose a pathway for Shavasana that's very helpful to you. So if to kind of complete the low back sequence that we've been working on a little bit, you can bring your legs, your calves up on a chair. And if you have a sandbag or some weight, you can put it on your pelvis. Maybe this is not how you want to be and you'd rather be just lying flat. Maybe your knees just need a pillow or a blanket or a bolster underneath them. Maybe you'd rather just be on your side. So choose your pathway for Shavasana and allow yourself to rest. And even if your low back is perfectly fine right now, let's all savor the joy of a spine that works really well. I'm sure each of you have had the experience of low back pain at some point in your life, if not recently. And it can be very disabling for a lot of movement patterns. So as you sink into rest here, let's experience gratitude for the body at ease. Melt your spine. See what you can do to find deep ease in the body. The limbs are heavy. And once again, the head, which we hold so much unconscious tension in sometimes, drop the head, let it settle and soften into the ground. Melt all the places in your face that hold tension. Become that blank slate of expression. The jaw is easy and relaxed. The tongue is soft, letting the inner walls of the throat follow that sensation. Keep moving the breath. I'm realizing I've been talking for a while now, but my my thing was on mute. I was wondering why nobody was moving. So let's go ahead and find some movement, a little bit of breath embedded in as you slowly start to find your way out of Shavasana. Take your time. As you come to sit, just notice the gifts of your practice, the subtle energy shifts, the change of your breathing, change the way your mind is feeling, the way your body is feeling. Let's offer this energy outward, share. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day.